Record now?
It's the book of Second Esdras, chapter 4, verse 1.
Oh, yeah, I get all of it. Hold on.
Chapter 4, verse 1. And the angel that was sent unto me, whose name was Uriel, gave me an answer.
So when you see Uriel, you got 7 angels that sit amongst the Most High, right? You know there's 7 angels? The 7 angels sit amongst the Most High. When you go to Tobit, it talks about that.
Favorite number.
And said, thy heart hath gone too far in this world.
So your mind has gone too far in this world. Go ahead.
And thinkest thou to comprehend the way of the Most High?
Right, so he said, look, you trying to outthink me? You know, you're going through science, you're going through history, you think you know more than me? Go ahead.
Then said I, yea, my Lord. And he answered me and said, I am sent to show thee 3 ways, and to set forth 3 similitudes before thee.
3 similitudes, right? They're like a nexus between them all. Go ahead.
Verse 4, whereof if thou canst declare me one, I will shew thee also the way that thou desirest to see.
Yeah, he said, explain to me just one question I'm asking out of the 3.
And I shall show thee from whence the wicked heart cometh.
Right, so he says, you think you're overly righteous? I'm going to show you still got a wicked heart. Even though you're overly righteous. Come on.
You know everything.
Verse 5, and
That's pride, right?
Right.
Overly righteous heart is pride.
And I said, tell on, my Lord. Then said he unto me, go thy way, weigh me the weight of the fire, or measure me the blast of the wind.
Weigh me the weight of fire. How you do that? Or measure me the blast of the wind. How you do that?
Impossible. Impossible. Edomites try to do it. That's impossible.
They trying to do it.
Right?
I mean, when you read Job, Job talks about how wind moves. You know that? In the book of Job. He tells you the way the wind moves is when the sun hits the earth, it expands. Oxygen expands. And that's how you get movement of the wind. People are, oh, it's the ocean that pushes it. No, you be in the middle of the desert and it's windy. Where's the ocean at? You know what I mean? When the sun hit the earth, wind expands. Pilots know that. They fly planes. They know you can't leave or land at a certain time, a certain way, because of the expanding because of the sun and the wind expanding.
Or measure me the blast of the wind, or call me again the day that is past. Then answered I and said, what man is able...
Read that last part.
Then answered...
No, measure me what?
Or measure me the blast of the wind,
Go ahead.
or call me again the day that is past.
That's like having a VCR, putting things in rewind, or a DVD player. He said, measure the day from the past, or from yesterday. What happened yesterday? You ask people what happened last week. They don't know what happened. You know what I mean? Brothers be sitting up here, oh, what did I do? Was that Tuesday or Wednesday? They be forgetting themselves. He said, tell me everything that went down here. What kind of clothes you had on yesterday?
Verse 6, then answered I and said, what man is able to do that? What man is able to do that, that thou shouldest ask such things of me? And he said unto me, if I should ask thee how great dwellings are in the midst of the sea, or how many springs are in the beginning of the deep, or how many springs are above the firmament, or which are the outgoings of paradise, peradventure thou wouldest say unto me, I never went down into the deep.
This is what Ezra says. He said, I never went into the deep to tell you the accumulation of things down there. I mean, you know, when you look at this parable, think about man. Man thinks he's seen everything. He thinks he's been in outer space. He's trying to count the stars, and he can't count the number of stars. The stars, they got new information showing that stars, they just appear out of nowhere and expand. They grow. Like today, there might be a star growing. Just like that. Yeah, I mean, you can't count the stars. He take them out, and then he make them appear. You know what I mean? And it's just like the sands of the sea. You don't know half the things that's down there on the bottom of the ocean. The most I say Leviathan is down on the bottom of the ocean, right? Give me Leviticus 42. Hold that verse. Yeah, I mean, there's only so far you go underwater before something breaks or explodes or implodes.
die.
You ever seen that movie Abyss? You ever seen that old movie? Remember when they had that machine? They was trying to go to the bottom of the ocean. What happened? It imploded. It imploded, right? There was too much pressure.
Yeah, it's too much pressure.
Right? And it's the same thing with Leviathan. Read Leviticus 41 and 1.
Job 41.
Job 40, yeah.
Leviticus chapter 41, verse 1. Canst thou dry out? It's like it. Canst thou draw out Leviathan
Right. Can you
with
draw
an hook,
Leviathan?
or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down?
Right, you can't draw him out with a cord, a fishing hook, nothing. He's too deep in the ocean, and he's smart. Leviathan. Go ahead.
Canst thou put an hook into his nose,
Uh-huh.
or bore his jaw through with a thorn?
Come on.
Will he make many supplications unto thee?
Right, come on.
Will he speak soft words
Will he
unto thee?
speak soft words like a beaver or a rabbit? Yeah, he ain't gonna do that. Come on.
Will he make a covenant with thee?
Will he make a covenant with man? He ain't gonna do that. You get an alligator. Alligator barely makes a covenant with man. It's like the snake. You can nurse a snake back after a snake being beat up or whatever.
It still bite you.
And once that snake get healed, and you put your hand in there, he gonna bite you. You know what I mean? That's his nature. That's his character. Leviathan is worse than that.
Kill you.
He'll kill you. Go ahead.
Wilt thou take him for a servant forever?
When you take him for a servant, like you do a lion, an elephant, a dog, a cat, forever, you ain't gonna be able to do Leviathan like that. Come on.
Wilt thou play with him as with a bird?
Come on.
Or wilt thou bind him for thy maidens?
Right, you can't bind him from it. Now, the thing is, so-called Esau, the so-called white man, he knows that there's things in the earth that he cannot catch, and he ain't gonna report it. He's not gonna tell you in these magazines or in this book that this thing exists when he hasn't mastered it. He wants to master everything before he puts it out there for you to see.
Very little about the species that live down there. We know very little about the distribution of the biological communities. We don't know how these animals have adapted to living under this unbelievable pressure that exists down there.
Okay, that's why every time you see something new, they got it in their hands. Look, we just found this, and it's in their hands. You know, like I saw this sea beast they found. It was like this long, slithery fish, and yes, you saw like 4 Edomites holding it.
Fins?
Yeah, with fins.
Yeah, I see that.
They mastered it because they had it in their hands. No, it was still living. They had it because they had it in their hand. But the scriptures is telling you with Leviathan, that'll never happen. So anything man has not mastered, or so-called white man has not mastered, he's not going to put it on TV for you to see it, or in the magazine, or in the report. Go ahead.
Shall the companions make a banquet of him?
Remember how they did King Kong when they brought him overseas? They put him up in a banquet, like at the Paramount down here or something like that. In the cage, right? And then he broke loose. They always want to make a banquet of an animal that they catch, or take his head off and post it on the wall like a deer. You know what I mean? Fill it up with paper or whatever. You know, they did Jake like that. They did us like that. They used to catch us at Issachar. Don't think you got some proud Edomites that got some of these huge castles today that got our heads on the wall, right? At Issachar, they probably got all the tribes, Native American Indians, the Mexicans, and black, on the wall.
They do already,
I
huh?
seen a movie like that.
I'm telling you, man.
I seen a movie.
Oh,
like
no,
that.
yeah, you talking about
Yeah, they had-
Hostel.
Yeah,
Hostel, when they went in that room?
Yeah, they had different people heads on the wall.
Yeah, Hostel.
man.
Yeah, and you know what, Nelson? A pickled penis.
And
Yo,
also seen
They
other
put penis
stuff
in a
that
jar.
But look, they did Geronimo like that. Somebody today has Geronimo's nuts in a pickle
Jar.
jar,
Why?
How about the brother?
as well as Nat King, not Nat King Cole, but
Nat
Nat Turner.
Nat Turner.
Same thing.
So why would that's just crazy that you have that kind of spirit that you want to.
That's their spirit,
bro,
man.
look.
We
Bro,
gonna
check this
keep
out.
reading.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons?
Right. What?
Shall they part him among the merchants?
Shall they part him amongst the merchants, like they do, like some of these elephants? Part them amongst the merchants.
They was
What
talking
the-
about how they got Albert Einstein's brain in a fucking, in like some kind of preservative thing.
Back.
Crazy. I was looking at like a picture of it. It's sick. That can't be real. How the hell do you?
Well, they do it. There's this thing me and my girl went to in Vegas, where they take They call it bodies. All right, they probably hear you on the camera. Here, give it to the brother here. They got this thing that they call bodies. It's a museum. And what they do is they take every piece of man's mind, lips, nose, and everything, and they dissect it. They slice it in thin slices, but they got it like in glass slates. So you can see the whole breakdown of a man's head. And they got it real close. It look like it's together, but it's apart. You know what I mean? And they all look like Jake. All right, go ahead. So they dissect everything. Go ahead.
Or his head with fish spears?
Or his head with fish spears. Come on.
Lay thy hand upon him. Remember the battle.
Remember, he said, remember this battle. This battle ain't going to be easy.
Do no more.
Do no what?
Do no more.
Do no more. Come on.
Behold, the hope of him is in vain.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The hope of him is in vain.
Uh-huh. We're going to come right back to it.
Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him?
Come on. But it said the hope of him is in vain to try to what? Capture Leviathan. In other words, when you see Leviathan, what's some of the movies that came out that feature Leviathan? You got like Godzilla.
We awakened something.
Well, there's nuclear tests in the Pacific. Not tests.
They were trying to kill it.
Godzilla was a form of Leviathan.
Right.
Right? When they made that Godzilla, the last one, he came out the ocean, he was going up under the bridge. That's Leviathan. You remember that? Butterfly top and read. In Job what?
Job chapter 41, verse 9. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him?
Right. Come on. Even at the sight of this dude, you're going to be panicked, you're going to be scared, your heart's going to fall in your stomach. You ain't going to be able to move.
None is so fierce that dare stir him up.
Come on.
Who then is able to stand before him?
Who's able to stand before the Most High's pit bull? That's what he is, the Most High's pit bull.
Who have prevented me that I should repay him?
Right, come on.
Whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine.
Come on. Most High controls all things. Go ahead.
I will not conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his comely proportion.
Understand what he just said. I will not conceal his parts. You're not going to see Leviathan. When you see him, it's the end. It's done. The Bermuda Triangle, you see all those ships disappearing in the Bermuda Triangle? That's probably his home. When you look on old maps, some of those old slave maps, Christopher Columbus maps, you see on the edge of the map, you see like dragons. You know, you see like their tails and stuff.
I see that before. That's a real thing.
Right.
I see that, man.
It was the destined time for Christopher Columbus and Ponce de Leon to come here. Before that, they could not come over here because the Most High set all that in place where if they went that far, they thought it was the end of the earth. That's where the flat earth thing theory came from. It came from back then. These Negroes talk about the flat earth theory. Are they insane? You look up at the stars in the sky, everything is round. The moon is round. Things travel faster when they're round. Spears, wheels, everything travels faster. A jigsaw, a radial blade, when they cut into the concrete, they use a tie-vine blade just to cut into that tar blade. It cuts anything. You know, everything is round. The earth is round. Okay? Right?
Who can discover the face of his garment? Or who can come to him with his double bridle, excuse me.
Come on, Art.
Who can open the doors of his face?
Who can open the doors of his face?
His teeth are terrible round about.
You ever seen a shark's teeth? Jagged.
I got a question. You know, have you ever seen that big old worm-looking thing that they show in movies with all the teeth all around?
Yeah.
Is that where they get that probably into the
Well, the Most High said he made animals for vengeance. I forget where it is. It's in the Sirach. He says he has made animals for vengeance to take out man.
Right.
And some he has made teeth with many teeth.
Right.
And that's for wicked men. You ain't gonna see Jake in the middle of the ocean. Right. I mean, that's something we just don't do. Who goes swimming? They had a movie called they came out with a shark. Well, a woman went down into South America. What was the name of that movie?
Oh yeah, so I just came out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Here she is by herself, going way out in the middle of nowhere. Shadow. It's called Shallow.
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 And she wasn't that deep out.
No.
She was just in the shallow. That's why.
But the part about it is, she went to a place where nobody went. She went into an area where you're not supposed to go. It's forbidden. So she goes into this place, then she goes out in the water. And what happens? This shark is out there, playing with her. That's Esau.
That's exactly what in the book of Genesis it say. Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents.
Dwelling in tents.
Esau was out in the field looking for stuff where he wasn't supposed to be.
But see, our brothers don't understand that not only is the man Esau is wicked, but also the woman is just as wicked as the man, if not evil. Okay, this is what we don't understand as a people. Go ahead. They may be nicer looking, but they're even more wicked.
You talking about Esau women?
Esau women.
Wickedness to
Esau.
themselves. Esau and
They're the devil and sheep's clothing. Go ahead.
His scales are his pride.
His scales are his pride.
Shut
This
up
is
together.
Leviathan.
Shut up together as with a close seal.
You look at some lizards or some, they got, like some reptiles, their scales overlap other scales. Leviathan is like, what is that, rhinoceros? What are those, you see how tough a rhinoceros skin is? Leviathan's skin is tough like that, if not tougher. All right? Go ahead.
One is so near to another that no air can come between them.
No air can come between.
Airtight. Wow.
This is where they get the theory of dragons, right? And they say we got to look for that little hole in his chest just to kill him.
And he hit that.
Right. There's no way in Leviathan. There ain't nothing like that. Yeah, just look for that little bit of fire in his neck and cast a sword in there. They ain't gonna kill him. Go ahead.
They are joined one to another.
Yeah, join one to another.
They stick together. That they cannot be sundered.
What?
By his sneezing, a light both shine. Do shine, excuse me. And his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning.
Eyelids of the morning.
Very bright.
You see his eyelids, it's like fire flickering. You know what I mean? You see it on Godzilla. When Godzilla come out the ocean, you see fire. It's a pool of fire. Here he comes coming up out of the water. Go ahead.
Out of his mouth go burning lamps.
Out of his mouth go what?
Burning lamps.
Out of his mouth go what?
Burning lamps.
Burning lamps. Come on.
And sparks of fire leap out.
And sparks of fire leap out. All right. Read on.
Out of his nostrils goes smoke, as out of a seething pot or cauldron.
So when you look at this, the Most High created Leviathan for Esau, because Esau had what from the beginning? Pride. Pride on his heart, right? Go to the last verse. Esau is known for pride, so Most High created Leviathan for Esau. Read.
He behold him all high things. He is a king over all the children of pride.
He is the king of what?
Over all the children of pride.
So he created Leviathan to be the king of all the children of pride. Those who do evil, but try to master the waters. Go back to that. Read that.
Or call me again. And he said unto it's the book of 2nd Esdras chapter 4 verse 6. Then I answered and said, what man is able to do that thou shouldest ask such things of me? Verse 7. And he said unto me, if I should ask thee how great dwellings are in the midst of the sea, or how many springs are in the beginning of the deep, or how many springs are above the firmament, or which are the outgoings of paradise. Verse 8, peradventure thou wouldest say unto me, I never went down into the deep, nor as yet into hell, neither did I ever climb up into heaven.
So this is Ezra's in the Bible saying, look, I can't answer the angel's questions. Okay?
Yeah.
I've never been into any of these places. But now I'm trying to understand.
Clothes on people be wearing,
now
man.
have I asked thee, but only of the fire and wind, and of the day whereof thou hast passed. and of things from which thou canst not be separated, and yet canst thou give me no answer of them.
Right, so Ezra's couldn't, after all that, he couldn't give no answers. So yeah, pride is that's one of the biggest sins. That's, they call it sorcery. Pride is sorcery, it's witchcraft. I mean, that's the #1 commandment you break when you have pride in yourself. All right? So with that, I'm going to pass it to the next brother.
The same thing to Elijah.
Elijah.
Talking about how he was the only one.
Right.